Since SPY made an inside day, a lot of stuff actually did inside day. Um, American Airlines actually did double inside day, which is basically a pretty rare formation. It doesn't happen much. You can see here, we don't see double inside day most all the time. So I think this is probably gonna be a major movement, a major mover tomorrow. Hood also did an inside day. It's basically testing the top of that flag on the daily, so there's a possibility of getting a rejection or breaking up. Usually on this trend, we kind of like break to the upside. Neckline is basically sitting at almost 11, but I think the main resistance is gonna be around 987, 980 around there. So still, it's making kind of like also inverse head and shoulder. You can see basically the first shoulder here, the head. Maybe we form the second shoulder around here. That happened again. 980 is probably gonna be the main resistance to go up. Another one that actually did good was also Snap. Inside day two had kind of like a symmetrical triangle on the hourly right now. This one actually was pretty good on Friday, and also on Thursday because I can actually see it here. Friday ended up actually dropping down and reversed back up at those 1055 and ended up going up to all the way to 1078. So this one has been having a lot of volatility, so I'm expecting this one to continue tomorrow. I do like it a lot. This was one of my picks for tomorrow. I'm gonna go actually into detail right now. I just want to show you guys what I'm picking for tomorrow. I do like Paramount also. Still inside that kind of like a flag right now, and we form kind of like a symmetrical triangle for the past 2 days. So I think this one we either break down from here and go all the way down to the bottom of the flag, which is basically 1850 around there, or break to the upside and try to test the top, which is basically at 21. It can go either way. This is actually another one that has an inside day. So again, I'm expecting a lot of volatility on those four. All right, so let's take a look at American Airlines. Let's go to the hourly. Again, you can see here that we can have a symmetrical triangle. We're bouncing from the bottom of it. We basically have three candles basically touching that trend, that bottom of the trend. So it's a pretty good support. Hourly, we're already crossing to the upside, but we haven't seen much buying pressure right now. I think we're probably gonna see that tomorrow in pre-market. If we gap up, if we don't, that'll be amazing because then that'll give us a little space to go to the upside. It was a little volatile on Friday. You can see here that we basically ended up going opening and then drop back down all the way to 1367 and then reverse back up all the way to 14. So it wasn't that crazy movement, but it was actually pretty volatile. We also formed kind of like an inverse cup and handle. You can see here the cup. You can see here the little handle. Neckline is basically at 1369. So there's a possibility again to dropping down on those levels. Let's take a look at the 4 hours. We're still bullish, but we haven't go up a little too hard. One of the things that I actually it's looking good on it is basically the double bottom that we did on it. You can see here the first bottom and the second bottom. If we keeps going up on this one and break the zero level, there's a big possibility of basically completing the double bottom at 1424. Again, everything's gonna be up to happen on the next couple days. I think there's a big possibility of bouncing around here and going and maybe testing the top and completing the double bottom of the 4 hours. But if we cross down, then we're probably gonna break the bottom of it, the bottom of that trend. All right, levels on this one. I'm gonna be looking at basically 1402 for calls. Breaking down one, the next one is gonna send us all the way to 1411, and after that we have basically 1417. I think if there's a big possibility of we open around here. There's a big possibility. If that happens, we're probably gonna reverse back down, and if we get enough momentum, we're definitely gonna go all the way all the bottom. Again, that's all gonna be to what happened in the 4 hours. For puts, I'm gonna be looking at 1394, which is this level over here. Breaking down one is actually gonna send us to 1382, and under that we're gonna go to 1374, which is basically the main support right now. We have a lot of candles passing by there, so I think this is probably gonna be the make it or break it. Under that, I think we're probably gonna go all the way to 1352. Let's take a look at Darpool, American Airlines. Pretty good volume on Friday. We usually don't see much at the end of the day on Fridays, but so far not a bad volume. If you see over here, we basically had 3 days accumulation. We basically had this day over here, which is the inside day that we had on Friday, and then we had this one over here, which is basically almost the same thing, and then we have this one, at least half a day, because this is actually a little too far out. But most of the orders that came in that day were basically the same range that we are right now. So pretty much 3 days accumulation on this one. So I think we're gonna see nice movement tomorrow. Again, 1402 for calls, 1394 for puts. All those levels are gonna be updated tomorrow morning. If we gap up, if we stay the same, it'll be amazing. Oh, we don't have to actually work. All right, next one is gonna be Hood. This one, again, we are actually trending and bull flag right now. We're basically testing the top, but there's a possibility of basically getting a rejection and dropping down. If you see over here in the 4 hours, we're about to break to the downside. We're basically testing, not testing, but we're almost there. And we are seeing the buying pressure is actually diminishing. Might go to 0 level tomorrow morning. Again, if that happens, I think we're gonna drop hard, maybe to A76, which is basically down here. I don't think we're gonna go all the way to the bottom of the flag, but I think we're probably gonna test those A76 or A80s, which is around here. If we look at the daily, we basically have an inside day. Every single time that we have an inside day, we had a little more volatility. The following day, you can see this one. This one didn't get much, but this one actually had a pretty big candle compared to the previous one. This one too, this one too. So expecting a lot of volatility on this one tomorrow. I like it a lot because it's actually cheap. So let's see what happens. If it breaks up, I think it goes to around 950, which is this candle over here. All right, so levels on this one. I'm gonna be looking basically at 923 for calls. Breaking down one, the next one is gonna be basically 928, and after that we're gonna have 937. I think over 928 we might get a lot of momentum going, since we're gonna be out of that trend and start breaking levels harder to the upside. Again, I think my target is around here if we break that flag. For puts, I'm gonna go with those 915, which is this one over here. Breaking from that one is gonna send us to the main support, which is 908. We had a lot of candles actually bouncing from there on the last day, and then under that we're gonna go to 9. Under 9, we have A93, and then the bottom of that kind of like trend that we have right now, which is like an upside trend, something like that, which is basically a A80. I think again under 9, there's a big possibility of going all the way over here. This one doesn't get much flow. I think the last flow came in on the 14th. But if you look at it, we kind of like are almost at the same level that flow came in. I think the last 2 orders that came in actually ended up coming around this level. So this might be a pretty good essential level. So see what happens. See what happens with this one. I do like it again because it has an inside days and it basically testing the top. So 2 possibilities is basically breaking up or getting a major rejection and start dropping down. 4 hours about to cross. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye for sure on that. All right, next one is gonna be basically Snap, another one that has an inside day. This one, if you look at the hourly, we can have like a symmetrical triangle. Basically tested it 3 times and it held actually pretty good. So I think this might be the main support. We kind of have a little gap to fail. It's only like a couple cents, and that might be kind of like a magnet for this one. But I don't think this is gonna go all the way down there. I think it's probably gonna stop breaking levels to the upside, maybe test the top. It's been having a lot of volatility lately, so I'm expecting similar movement tomorrow. Going to the 4 hours, we crossed down. But if you look at the selling pressure on this one, it's extremely small. It's really small compared to the previous cycle. I think again we cross to the upside. We definitely gonna actually test the top of that symmetrical triangle, or maybe even actually break to the upside. I want to see. I think Meta has earnings this week. If that's the case, we are gonna see a lot of volatility on social media stocks, and this is probably my prime candidate. I do think they have. I had to check anyway. I'll check at the end of the session. Um, let's take a look at levels on this one. Main one is gonna be basically 1079. Breaking from that one, it's gonna send us to basically 1091, and after that we have 11. 11 is gonna be probably the main one because that's gonna put us out of that trend, and that must give us a lot of momentum to go at least to the neckline, which is basically 1123. For puts, I'm gonna be looking at 1063. Breaking down one is gonna send us to 1056, and after that we're gonna go to 1048. I think 1056 might be the main support right now. Basically have 3 candles passing by, and if we break down from there, we're probably gonna be testing the bottom of that trend, and it's gonna give us more momentum to go down. I think if we break from those 1050s, we're probably gonna go to 10. This one move extremely fast, so you have to be careful. But whenever we get momentum, it tends to run like 10%. You guys actually saw that on Thursday. We did I think 240%, 250% in freaking 15 minutes. It was insane. So 1079 for calls, 1063 for puts. Let's take a look at dark pool on this one. Pretty big orders coming in, especially on Friday. Most of the orders that came in were at the end of the day, and level 1070. We've been having also a lot of accumulation on this one. Oh, April 26th. I saw something about social media. I have to look at it. Anyway, this one has a lot of accumulation at the current level that we are. If we go between those 11s and those 1030s, we definitely we're gonna have in around 7-8 days of accumulation. So we probably gonna see a nice movement on this one. Again, I think over 11, we're probably gonna run hard to the neckline of that trend, which is basically 1125. This might be my favorite for tomorrow. It's Monday, so I'm a little more relaxing. Volatile stocks on Monday, so I think this is probably gonna be my prime candidate for tomorrow. Alright, next one is gonna be Paramount. We basically bounced from the bottom of that flag on I think it was Wednesday, and ended up kind of flat for the next 3 days. You see over here, we kind of form another symmetrical triangle. A lot of candles actually bouncing from the bottom of that trend, so it's actually a pretty good support. Another one with inside day. We kind of also did kind of like a flag. I don't know if you see it here with these 2 candles, especially doing an inside day smaller candle on the previous one. So I think there's a big possibility of breaking to the upside on this one. If that happened, I think we're probably gonna go to 21. If we look at the 4 hours, we are also a little bearish, so there's that possibility of breaking down. Since we have so many touching downs on that support, if we break down, we're gonna get a lot of momentum. Remember, we have how many candles we have? I think we have over 6 candles on this one. So I think if we break down from here, we're probably gonna see a lot of momentum down. We also had kind of like head and shoulder. You can see it. I think you can see it better in 15 minutes. We have here the shoulder, head, second shoulder, neckline around 1938, which is this one over here. Final target is gonna be around 19. Right, we have 1920, and then we have 19, which is around here. 4 hours might actually give us the signal to get put on this one. It does look good for whichever way it goes. It does look extremely good. All right, let's take a look at levels on this one. I'm gonna go with 1985 for calls. Breaking to the upside, we're gonna go to 1994, and over that we're basically gonna test 20. I think over those 1994 we're gonna be out of that trend, so it might actually give us a lot of momentum to go up. Neckline is sitting at 2030. Most of the times, I explained it like a couple times, whenever we actually break a trend, we tend to go to the neckline of the trend, which is basically the highest candle of it most of the time. So it can happen. For puts, gonna look at 1967. It's pretty close to the actual price, so might actually move it tomorrow. Under that, we're gonna go to 1953, which is this one over here, and then we go to 1945. 1945 is the main support. We have a lot of candles passing by there, so there's a possibility of breaking more levels to the downside. We actually lose down one. 1 hour actually is kind of bullish. It's about to be bullish. So there's the possibility again of breaking that trend and going to the neckline, which is basically at 2028. Premiums are not so expensive on this one. They're a little more expensive than the other ones, but it works. It works. I think I called it on Friday, expecting to do a double bottom on this one. You can actually see it here, first one and second one, but never actually broke to the upside. Ended up actually dying around here. But I think there's still a possibility of actually making it to that neckline at the double bottom. All right, let's take a look at dark pool. Pretty big orders coming in. Really big orders. Everything that came in and basically came in at the end of the day, but really big orders. We basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 days accumulation on this one. Hold on, let's take a look at to see if those orders that came in at the end of the day were actually sell orders or buy orders. Parat. Let's take a look. How many? 331,000. What time? 16. Okay. Alright, so this one is basically bullish. This one is also a bullish order. 145,000 another buy order. 108,000 another buy order. There's a 49,000 that is not showing here. It's also a buy order, and this one is also a buy order. All those orders that came in were basically buy orders. The 50,000 one, which is not showing here, the 57, the 27, and 111,000, which is this one. All of those were buy orders. So a lot of people are actually loading on this one. Remember, we have Warren Buffett on this one. Warren Buffett, yeah, Warren Buffett on this one. I think most of the times that he actually got in was in the low 20s. So maybe if we see news on this one soon. Again, a lot of buying orders on this one. A lot of buying orders. So someone is actually expecting it break up to the upside. So 1985 for calls, 1967 for puts. Alright, so I think this is all that I have for now. Again, we're gonna have a lot of volatility tomorrow because we had an inside day on SPY. A lot of actually stocks having inside day. BTC actually running. We ended up actually dropping those 28. We had a symmetrical triangle. We broke to the upside. I think it's probably gonna flag around here and keep breaking levels to the upside. There might be a situation that we start reversing because remember, all that run was actually because of the tanks. Regarding SPY, bear flag on the 1 hour, possibility of dropping down. I think we probably gonna wrap up tomorrow, maybe test the top. If we break to the upside, I think we're gonna break those 400s again. 4 hours, we're crossing down, so expecting a little more sell-off tomorrow morning. Anyway, thank you guys for passing by, and I'm gonna actually drop the video in the way you guys kind of want to review it later, and see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you for passing by. Take care.